Tonight on KVR News, cleanup as flash flooding hits the Austin area.
More than a foot of rain in parts of the area, and more is on the way.
Also, Happy Columbus Day, why the name is causing controversy.
And the Golden Hat is coming back to Austin. A look at the Longhorns' victory over OU.
You're watching KVR News, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening. You're watching KVR News for Monday, October 14th. I'm Wendy Reichstein.
And I'm Stacy Reichert. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Cleanup begins after flash flooding hits the Austin area over the weekend. Several inches of rain fell throughout central Texas, turning creeks into raging rivers.
Up to a foot of rain fell in a 12-hour period over parts of the area. The National Weather Service issued flash flood warnings early Sunday morning as the floodwaters began to rise.
Flooded streets made it difficult for drivers to get through various parts of Travis County. Rollingwood Fire Department rescued a driver whose vehicle got stuck in a creek Sunday morning. She was sent to UMC Brackenridge. Her condition is not known.
Another man was rescued in southwest Austin after his vehicle washed off the road. The man climbed into a tree and was later rescued by Starflight.
The floods also led to the evacuation of homes in South Austin early Sunday morning. Homes along Williamson Creek filled with water that some residents say was as high as 2 feet.
Residents were able to return to their homes yesterday evening with lots of cleanup to do. Dirt and debris covered the walls and the floors.
The Austin Parks and Recreation Department also closed all city parks and trails. Christopher Adams joins us live in the Weather Center with a look at the effects of the flooding.
That's right, Wendy. Workers arrived at Barton Springs Pool this morning to find mud, downed tree limbs and debris. Take a look at this video of the pool taken yesterday. Park staff say the floodwater likely rose 5 feet above its normal stage. And this is what Barton Springs looks like today. Workers are cleaning up the debris, and that could take up to several days. There's no word yet on when the pool will reopen. Trails and golf courses throughout the city were also closed this morning, so the damage could be assessed. We also wanted to show you these images sent in to us from near Fredericksburg. The floodwaters out there turned this road into a river. Less rain fell out over the hill country than here in Austin, but it was still enough to cause some damage out that way too. And take a look at this little guy. We found him seeking shelter near the Barton Springs Pool this afternoon as the skies over Austin opened up once again. And with more rain in the forecast, the already impressive rainfall totals are only going to increase further. So how much rain actually fell this weekend? Well, take a look at this map from the LCRA's Hydromet site. You can see the reds and purples there throughout Travis County. South Austin picked up more than 12 inches of rain. That's more than a foot. More than 11 inches fell at the LCRA's Redbud Center, right by Hula Hut there on Lake Austin, and many other parts of the metro area picked up anywhere from 3 to 7 inches. And all that rain led to several low water crossings throughout the area being closed. This map from the city of Austin shows there is still one crossing closed down there in southwest Austin. You can check this map out for yourself anytime at atxfloods.com. Officials encourage all drivers to not drive through a flooded roadway, but instead to turn around, don't drown. We also wanted to take a look at how the Highland Lakes were affected by the weekend's rain. The heaviest rain fell downstream from Lake Travis, but the lake has risen about 2 feet and is expected to continue rising slowly over the next couple of days, according to the LCRA. Lake Buchanan has only risen about 1/10 of a foot. Well, there is more rain in store for Austin, potentially heavy later this week. I'll have your full forecast for you a little later in the show. For now, live in the Weather Center, Christopher Adams, KVR News.
All right, thank you, Christopher. The flooding also caused the cancellation of the last day of the Austin City Limits Festival. Ticket holders will receive 1/3 of their money back.
But the cancellation didn't keep all performers from putting on a great show. Bands like the Mowglis put on a free show in a parking lot. In return, they asked the audience to donate essential items to the local homeless shelter.
Festival goers like John Paul Napleton say while the cancellation is disappointing, the overall ACL experience was great.
I got like 4 texts from all my friends that I was going with that, oh, ACL got canceled. I was like, what? But it was okay. I mean, I was like, oh well. I already had a hoarse throat, so.
We could also.
In other news, UT is expected to eliminate 500 jobs within the next 5 years. A newly implemented shared services model aims to save millions of dollars a year for the university. Vice President and Chief Financial Officer Kevin Hegarty says the savings should help alleviate financial pressures that UT is facing.
We could also save money, and that savings is estimated to be substantial, somewhere in the range of $30 to $40 million every year forever.
Hegarty says the Shared Services Initiative will be carried out in a thoughtful and methodical way so it works with the campus, and there will be no immediate staff layoffs. Senate leaders say they're optimistic that an agreement will soon be reached to reopen the federal government. Senate officials say the rough draft of a deal is currently in the works. That deal would possibly reopen the government until January 15th, lift the debt limit through February 7th, and require a budget report from negotiators by December 13th. The CAM compromise would not include repealing the medical device tax, but would give agencies more flexibility to implement budget cuts. Republicans plan to meet tomorrow morning to discuss the details of the agreement.
As the shutdown continues, the Republican Party's approval rating has hit a record low. According to polling firm Gallup, the party's popularity rating has fallen 10% since September. That means their approval rating is now just 28%, the lowest since Gallup started polling in 1992. The percentage of Americans rating the Republicans unfavorably has reached a new high of 62%, and more than a quarter of Republicans view their own party unfavorably. Meanwhile, the Democrats have also lost popularity since September. Their approval rating only fell 4 points to 43%.
Last week, we reported about the Austin Fire Department's controversial use of helmet cameras, and now AFD is reacting to the criticism. Firefighters like Andy Mesick say the cameras are a good tool to review the department's response to a fire, but AFD Chief Rhoda May Kerr sent out a memo Friday to more than 1,000 firefighters, banning the use of video cameras on helmets. The ban will stay in place until the department has a specific policy.
Little Red Riding Hood with a twist. Find out why this haunted adventure is so special.
And the greetings from Austin sign looks a little different. Find out why it's white when we come back.
You're watching KBR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Despite the last day being canceled, festival goers were able to enjoy 5 days of ACL. And some UT students got some great experience behind the scenes. Students worked with Chef David Bull to cook 14,000 meal items for special guests over the 2 weekends. The students got hands-on training and class credit through a new program connecting ACL and UT. Senior nutrition major Janet Yang said the experience was fun and educational.
The best part about working at ACL was definitely learning about different cooking techniques and the logistics behind food service operations, because working with Chef Bull and Chef Ethan, they have a lot of experience and we were able to really get a better feeling about it.
Today is widely known as Columbus Day, but some want the name changed. The Native American and Indigenous Collective Group at UT celebrated today what they're calling Indigenous Peoples Day. The group challenges the idea that Christopher Columbus discovered America and instead brings light to the oppression and genocide of Native Americans. The organization held an event today to celebrate a future in which the rights of Indigenous peoples are respected. Gabriela Torres is a member of the NAIC, and she says it's important for Indigenous people to always remember their history.
I think that by recognizing Christopher Columbus, you're essentially silencing this other group of people. And by acknowledging him and honoring him, you're forgetting what the other side is. And we can't forget. We shouldn't forget.
Undocumented college students are a major talking point in Texas politics. All 4 GOP candidates for lieutenant governor want to overturn the state's version of the DREAM Act. That gives undocumented students an opportunity to pay in-state college tuition. Carola Guerrero de Leon gives us an inside look at a conference advocating for undocumented students on campus.
The University of Texas International Office hosted its annual Creating Access to Global Education Symposium on Friday. Panel guests and information for participants discussed issues pertaining to academic support and advocacy for undocumented students.
What we hit on today is the fact that undocumented students face a very different reality when they're pursuing higher education than our dominant imaginings of what a college student's life looks like.
And then the second barrier is the actual process itself. The application itself was not set up to accommodate the undocumented students. They don't quite fit into the process as domestic students, permanent residents, and citizens.
Not many people know that you can go to college despite the fact that you're undocumented. Like, I'm undocumented, and if it weren't for example, the House Bill 1403, I wouldn't be here because I couldn't have been able to afford college.
We know from the very beginning we have undocumented students trickling in.
The main context of being able to bring students into a specific orientation group is to let them know that there are specific services for them on campus, there are other students on campus that have the same experiences, and show them that they're not the only ones.
Thankfully, because I'm here at UT, there's a lot of support here, so I don't feel alone. And hopefully all the other undocumented students won't feel alone either.
Carola Guerrero de Leon, KBR News.
Well, this week is UT's first Undocumented Longhorns Week to raise awareness about students who have yet to gain citizenship. Events throughout the week will recognize undocumented students and bring attention to resources that support the struggle for immigrant justice.
I want for every organization on campus, for every student on campus to learn about what being undocumented is and how you can help for this person to gain citizenship, because we are at UT, we're at one of the biggest and best universities in the U.S. and the world, and we're trying to just become good citizens for everyone and to help this country out.
I live at the PCL, or at least that's what some students will be saying starting tonight. The Perry Castañeda Library resumes its 24/5 schedule tonight and will continue until the end of final exams later this semester. The theme of the launch is Up All Night to Get Lucky, which is supposed to symbolize the good grades that students will receive as a result of studying all night. Student Body President Horatio Villarreal says student government is excited to bring back the 24/5 schedule.
I do think that it's important, especially as we kind of get a little more into crunch time with school, that students are able to utilize that whenever they want. And then if students don't feel comfortable going home, I wouldn't do it, but there's always students that sleep there, whether that's finals or not. So having that service essentially at their disposal, I think is important.
And if you're studying late at the PCL, starting tonight you'll have a safe way to get home. PTS and Student Government are starting a program called You Ride 24/5. The program offers transportation from campus to Riverside, Lake Austin, and Far West. Rides will be provided Sunday through Thursday from midnight until 3 a.m.
All your favorite fairy tales are no longer what they used to be. A Fairy Tale Nightmare is putting a twist on the fairy tales with a not-so-happily ever after. The haunted house adventure is being put on by Scare for a Cure. The organization is entirely volunteer-based and is presenting an interactive multimedia haunted adventure in order to mentor youth and foster volunteerism and community service. All of the profits from this year's event will be donated to the Breast Cancer Resources Centers of Texas.
Being a cancer survivor and SCARE being a program, nonprofit organization geared towards benefiting cancer patients at the Breast Cancer Resource Center, that was something I was like, because if it weren't for programs like this, I wouldn't have had my chemo, and I probably would not be here today.
The famous Greetings from Austin mural on South First is looking a little different these days. The mural is undergoing renovations and will be repainted this Friday. It served as a photo op backdrop for locals and tourists for 15 years, but was looking a little worn down. The restoration is costing $10,000, and in addition to repainting, will also include adding lighting and landscaping. The project should be complete by the end of October.
Well, plenty of rain this weekend and more coming up this week. I'll have your forecast next. You're watching KVR News.
Call the KVR News tip line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm Christopher Adams. Well, all this rain in the Austin area lately is thanks to tropical moisture streaming in from Hurricane Octave off the Pacific coast of Mexico. We did see some more showers earlier today, but the activity has dropped off for now. But we are expecting even more rain later this week. Temperatures, though, are a little cooler thanks to the rain, only topping out at 78 degrees this afternoon, and temperatures will remain well below average throughout the rest of the week. Showers and storms are likely in the area once again tomorrow, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. We've got about a 60% chance of rain, and some of those downpours could be pretty heavy at times. We've got a cold front on the way, and we're going to feel it. Take a look at Wednesday's high temperature, only 59 degrees. Another 60% shot of storms, and winds will also pick up with this cold front, gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Rain chances then continue through the rest of the work week at 20% on Thursday and 30% Friday. Temperatures will rebound back from that 59 to the low 70s, but they'll remain more than 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. We then finally dry out by Sunday with temperatures remaining in the 70s. So over the next few days, the National Weather Service is predicting 1 to 2, maybe even 3 more inches for the Austin area. So do make sure you have the umbrella handy later this week. Live in the Weather Center, Christopher Adams, KVR News.
Thanks, Christopher. Up next, a look back at the Red River Rivalry.
Stay tuned. You're watching KVR News.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm Jorge Guerra. UT announced last week they have hired recruiting firm Corn & Ferry International to help find a new athletics director. DeLoss Dodds announced earlier this month that he'll be stepping down after 32 years. Dodds will stay with UT until the end of August next year, when his replacement will take his spot. Well, the Longhorns headed up I-35 this weekend for the annual Red River Rivalry. After 3 straight losses against the Sooners, Texas was able to turn things around and bring the Golden Hat back to Austin. Let's head out to the Cotton Bowl for the highlights. Game exciting. On the first quarter, after a 61-yard drive by the Texans, Anthony Ferris settles for a 31-yard field goal that is good, putting up Texas 3-0. Still the first quarter, 3rd and 4th on OU's 26. Blake Bell's pass is intercepted by Chris Whaley, returning that pick six, 31 yards, putting up Texas 10-3. And boy, have you ever seen a big man run like that? That was one heck of a pick six for the offensive lineman, Whaley. There's the cheering, the fans are roaring, everything looks good for Texas so far, up 10-3. Second quarter now, 3rd and 11 at the UT 41. Case McCoy looks right, and he finds Marcus Johnson for a 59-yard reception touchdown. This puts up Texas 17-3. All the momentum right now is going towards Texas. Here we go, second quarter, 3rd and 13. Blake Bell sacked by senior leader Jackson Jeffcoat. Second quarter, 3 seconds left in the half. You still see Jackson Jeffcoat there celebrating, but here 3 seconds left at the half. Anthony Ferris with a 43-yard field goal to head into the halftime, putting up Texas 23-10. Fans cheering, the team's cheering. The athletic trainers are training. Happy. Here we go, third quarter. Jed Barnett with a 47-yard punt, but Dajae Johnson, look at that speed, returns that punt for 85 yards, taking it all the way down the field, putting up Texas 29-13. It's 29-13 because the extra point is going to be blocked. The momentum is still on Texas side. OU still not finding momentum. Third quarter, 1st and 10. Case McCoy looks deep at the fade route. We got to look at it again one more time to Mike Davis. This is his first catch of the game, and it's good for a 38-yard touchdown pass, putting up Texas 36-13. Fourth quarter, 4th and 13. Fourth quarter 37. Pass is intercepted by Gino Grissom, scoring a 54-yard pick six. Fourth quarter still. Momentum is still Texas. OU trailing. Blake Bell will be once again sacked by Jackson Jeffco. All the momentum was going towards UT. OU does not find a way back. Case McCoy kneels. The game's over. Hugs and cheers for Texas. Texas wins 36-20.
Definitely a great win for the Horns. Thanks so much. Nita Motter has what's coming up in entertainment.
You're watching KBR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KBR News. British actor Charlie Hunnam has dropped the lead male role of Christian Grey in the upcoming film 50 Shades of Grey. It's all because of scheduling conflicts, according to a statement released by Universal Pictures. Hunnam has an immersive TV schedule, and his starring role on Sons of Anarchy on FX wouldn't allow him to adequately prepare for the role. Although in search of a new lead actor, the film is still set to begin shooting next month with a release date of next August. After a successful summer tour, the Jonas Brothers have officially canceled their upcoming tour due to some disagreement over their music direction. But fear not, Jonas fans, the brothers are not in a personal fight. The rift is just about the music, and they are still on speaking terms. The tour cancellation does not mean they are officially splitting up. Joe Jonas was seen leaving a recording studio in LA on Thursday, where he was asked by paparazzi if the band was breaking up. Joe responded with, "Shut up, man." And Nick Jonas's girlfriend, Olivia Culpo, the reigning Miss Universe, has also been sparking controversy in the media. Culpo is under investigation by Indian police for an unauthorized photo shoot at the Taj Mahal. Police say Culpo and others in her group shot a commercial for footwear at the palace on Sunday without proper permission. Many are calling the shoot disrespectful and offensive. Culpo says she feels horrible about the investigation, as well as the fact she may have offended the country's citizens. If she's found guilty, Culpo and her group could face jail time of up to 10 years, a fine equivalent of $1,600. That's all for your entertainment news this week. I'm Nita Mandar.
Thanks, Nita, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Stacey Reichard.
And I'm Wendy Reichstein. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News. Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television, and have a good night.